clubs and teams or groups or the activities there is in the organization. So it's important that you create a marketing strategy for your club within your organization as well, right? And if you have a website, and I highly encourage you to have a website, it is your duty to maintain this website, right? And finally, a club newsletter for members. I know according to the guidelines or the awards criteria, you need to definitely publish 2 newsletters. Try to at least achieve that, but I would tell you that that is kind of like the minimum standard, right? If possible, try to have more frequent newsletters so people can read about different things, people can see different things happening, or at least if you are on LinkedIn, and if you're not on LinkedIn, go on LinkedIn, try to publish LinkedIn articles, right? Um, and you are responsible for all of this work. Now you must be wondering, okay, now I'm the VPPR. Now, how many of y'all who are present here said you want to be a VPPR? Actively told your club leadership before this term started, hey, I want to be a VPPR, or applied to be the VPPR of the club. How many of y'all did that? Can I see a raise of hands? No one did that? No one asked to be the VPPR? Okay, that's fine, because the other way that you become a VPPR is, okay, at least we have one person who actually asked to be a VPPR, which is great. 2 and 3, right? Okay, we at least have a few of y'all who actually wanted to be a VPPR. But in most cases, what happens is someone comes, or else the incoming president or a senior club member would come and ask you, hey, would you like to be the VPPR and be in the executive committee? And sometimes you might like the role, or sometimes you might just want to be in the exco, or sometimes in the worst possible scenario, you just can't say no to your mentor or your senior member, right? So you say yes. But as you know, Toastmasters is never about just doing something, right? It's always about learning something from whatever you're doing. And your role right now is also going to teach you something, right? So think of it as a learning opportunity, and not as, okay, I got this very shiny badge, and I got to brag about being the VPPR, or I have the burden to post every week or twice every week, right? So especially those who wanted to be a VPPR, right? What skills would you gain by doing this role? Why do you do this role?
Toastmaster Pramodya, let me interrupt for a moment. I
Yeah.
would like to invite all the VPPRs to turn on your video if possible so that we can make it more interactive and that you're actively participating in this session. Thank you. Back to you.
Thanks, Aman. Can someone tell me what you will learn from being a VPPR? Are we just considering this as a full burden? Another
Effectively
task? Yeah, yeah.
the guest.
Effectively communicate, yes. What else?
Of course, social media handling.
Right? Social media handling. Nice. So yes, um, you obviously are going to learn multiple skills by being a VPPR, especially in Toastmasters, right? Because I have done PR work with other organizations. I've done PR work with like work organizations, but this is by far one of the strictest PR frameworks I've ever come across, right? So you're going to learn a lot about a lot of things by taking up this role, right? And let's talk about some of the transferable skills you are going to learn from being the VPPR, which you can apply for, yes, correct, improve creativity, right? Which you can apply to your day-to-day lives. So communication skills. Now, you will learn by being the VPPR, you will learn how to have media relations, how to write press releases, or at least the nice captions you all have on your social media accounts, right? Um, and if y'all are game to risk a little, do things a bit riskier, right? But still very rewarding. You might also learn how to uh, conduct an interview, right? You will also learn things like marketing and strategy. And I'm not even kidding. I know people who have been the VPPR in a Toastmasters club who started their career as people like an analyst or like a very desk job and ended up going into marketing and sales after being VPPR, right? So you're going to learn marketing, you're going to learn how to strategize. How? Because throughout this period, you're going to learn how to develop a good campaign, right? You learn how to do advertising, um, promotional activities, right? And you'll learn how to create and use branding materials, right? Um, you'll learn how to have or plan publicity calendars, right? And all of this strategic marketing work, which you feel is something you probably have to go and get a degree for, you're going to learn at least the basics of it through Toastmasters, right? If you do this role properly. You will also learn creative and technical skills, right? You learn how to take good photographs because believe me, if you just tell your members to send a photograph um for a poster, they will send you a bathroom selfie, right? Uh, they will do that. So you will learn how to take good photographs with, a random phone from a random member of the club, right? In some cases, very bad lighting, but to make it really good, right? So you're going to learn that. You're going to definitely learn graphic design. That is a definite learning point, right? So you're going to learn these creative and technical skills, which you might not have learned otherwise, right? Because it's self-learning, and we all know we don't really do self-learning. You'll also learn business development skills. You learn how to network with people, build relationship with people, right? So all of these skills, if you look at them, they are not only applicable to Toastmasters, right? They are applicable to many other places, like your workplace. Okay. So when you do your role as a VPPR, don't think about it as I'm a VPPR of a Toastmasters club. Think about it as I'm a marketing manager for a corporate, right? And try to learn how to do all of these things. Okay, now you are a VPPR and we need to learn what your responsibilities are. Can someone tell me what you are responsible for? Now we're at least like a month into this role, right? So I'm pretty sure you all would have had a exco meeting or at least spoken to your presidents. And what did the president tell you that you have to do? Or else the past VPPR? Handling social media, correct. You need to handle social media. What else? Is that all? Okay, right.
Speaking to the guests and get some idea about them and encourage them to join regularly.
Yeah, correct. Create flyers, create marketing materials, give the public an update on what's happening. Yes, correct. Those are all your responsibilities, right? So in summary, you are responsible for creating or coordinating an active public relations and publicity campaign, right? If you haven't done this so far, one of the first things you should be doing is taking a look at what your campaign throughout the year is going to look like. How is XYZ Club going to look like in public, right? You are responsible for creating Toastmasters awareness through, social media, creating all of those beautiful flyers, and even if possible, getting in contact with local media, right? Uh, if you are in a club, in a corporate club, you are also responsible for convincing your colleagues to join Toastmasters. And if you are in a community club, you are responsible for showing people what the benefits are of Toastmasters, right? So all of this becomes your responsibility, but I would say the most important responsibility is creating your public relations plan and program for your club. Okay? Right. Now, your duty is to communicate with people, right? So if you're communicating with people, what do you have to do? There's 4 things you kind of have to answer before you create your public relations plan, right? First is you need to know who your target audience is. Who are you approaching? Who are you reaching to, right? Second is how will you reach them? Because depending on your target audience, the way you reach these people would change, right? And when is the right time? And finally, what is your key message, right? What is the key message you're going to give these people? Okay, so let's do a small activity, right? I want you to think of uh, a type of person you want to attract to your club, right? So build a bit of a profile. Maybe it's uh, a 25 to 35-year-old working professional uh, who wants to build leadership skills, right? So I want you to think about your club and think about what sort of people you would want in your club. Okay? Have we figured that out? Right. So in the chat box, you can type in what type of person you are thinking of, right? Is it a young professional? Is it someone, is it a retired community you are looking at? Is it people working in your office? Is it um, generally people who wants to build confidence? What sort of people would you want to approach? Can we take a moment and answer that in the chat box? Yeah, no? Okay, right. Fresh school leavers, students at your university, young professionals, startup founders. Okay. Okay. Young professionals who are looking for the working professionals. Okay. Yes. So now you know the type of people, educators, actually, correct. Now you know the type of people you want attending your club meetings, right? Now, I want you to raise your hands, like a virtual raise of hands. For what sort of a platform, right? Um, what sort of a platform would you use to communicate or to reach these people? Okay. Uh, let's do like a small thing. I'll tell you all the platform and you all can raise your hands if you all think your demographic would uh, would consume this platform and would get your communications through this platform, right? How many of you feel that your community you will be able to reach your community through Facebook? Raise of hands. Right. Okay. So we have a few people who think they can reach these people through Facebook, right? What about LinkedIn? Mhm. Um, how about TikTok? Who thinks that you're okay? Right. How about corporate email? Right. Anyone thinking that local media, so local newspaper, TV channels? Okay, right. So now you see how different it is, right? How different media would cater to different people. So if you are catering to young professionals or people who are working, the working crowd, your focus should be on platforms like LinkedIn, right? I'm not saying that you shouldn't post on Facebook. Please go post on Facebook because we know that is where we go to kind of calm down or maybe be more worried about the issues about the world. But in general, keep posting on Facebook, but focus your attention on LinkedIn, right? Yes, that is where your target audience is. And if you are catering to younger people, school leavers, right? These people are probably on TikTok right now. So go ahead and focus on that. And if you're catering to maybe older generation, go like out on Facebook, right? Because we all know we have parents who just scroll through the Facebook account we created for them and would definitely click on anything that they see, right? So based on who your target audience is, think about the right channel to put your material out on, right? And also think about the message you are going to give to these people, right? If you're talking to maybe young professionals, you wouldn't want to tell them about maybe this is a very fun place to be, right? Maybe that's not the message they want to see. They would want to see how would a Toastmasters club help me improve my communication and leadership skills, right? For younger people, school leavers, they might want to join Toastmasters because they want networking opportunities. They want to know more people of their age, right? So depending on what these people want, you'll have to change your message in your communication, right? So you need to know who your target audience is, how you can reach your target audience, and what exactly you have to say to your target audience to convince them, right? I sometimes joke about VPPRs saying that um, this is like approaching a partner, right? You need to know what sort of girl or boy you like, right? Your target. And how would you meet this person, right? Would you meet this person at a club? Would you meet this person at a tuition class? Would you meet this person at a bus halt, right? So that is your means of approaching this audience. And when you finally meet this person, what would you say? Okay. So it's almost like finding your partner, but for Toastmasters, and it's about finding your members, right? And then what are the types of audiences you might come across? What types of audiences do you have in your when as a VPPR? So you're catering to two main types of audiences, right? First is the external audience, so potential members, guests, anyone who sees your social media and all of the beautiful posts you make. And the other audience is the internal audience, which is your club. And this might be a controversial statement, but I feel like the biggest mistake we do as Toastmasters and the VPPRs is we just post whatever we send on the WhatsApp group on our social media, right? Whatever on the WhatsApp group goes on social media. Sure, that creates quantity, but I want you to think about the effectiveness of it. Okay? Sometimes you might want to just put the same thing on social media. If you're announcing a meeting date and you have a nice flyer, by all means, put it on social media because you're inviting guests to join this meeting, right? But when publishing that flyer, at least change your caption under it, right? Because you have already invited your own club members in that WhatsApp message you sent. When you're putting it on social media, you're inviting guests. So try to at least change the caption of it to cater to your guests, right? These are small things that you can do to reach different audiences effectively. So you have your internal audience, right? These are the people who knows you, who knows what Toastmasters is, and would get what you mean without a lot of context, right? So it can be club members, it can be members from other clubs, district, right? Anything, anyone who knows what Toastmasters is. So you have to work very closely with your VP membership and sometimes with your treasurer and your VP education to communicate to this audience, right? You might want to work with your VP membership and treasurer when it comes to renewal cycles, right? And every time you all have an educational meeting, you have to collaborate with your VP Ed to make sure uh, that we kind of we are aligned with what we want to tell our club members, right? And remind our club members. Um, and to cater to these internal audience channels, I'm pretty sure you know you all probably are using WhatsApp, and some clubs also still use email to do this. But WhatsApp is, of course, one of the most strongest things you all can use. And sometimes you have so many messages on WhatsApp that no one actually looks at what's going on. In that case, try to make separate channels. So have like a separate channel for official messages, have a separate channel where everyone can say happy birthday to all of the other members, right? Try to have separate channels, try to create WhatsApp communities, okay? And make sure that all of the content you have spent so much time and effort creating are visible to your club members. And then you have the external audience, that is all of the members who are potential members and potential guests. So it can be career focused professionals, community groups, skill builders, media contacts, as you all said, different type of people. And as I mentioned earlier, based on who these people are, you need to change your message to these people, right? What is most important is to raise awareness. You need to meet people where they're at, right? You can't just keep on talking about your club and what your club is doing and how wonderful your club is, as long as you don't tell people what they will get from it, right? So when you're creating your communications, make sure you start with what does my audience want. For your internal audience, they want to know when the club meeting is. But for your external audience, they want to know what can this meeting give me, right? Simple thing. And based on those things, as I mentioned earlier, things like your captions can change. What's important again is you highlight the benefits members can get, right? Because especially your external audience is searching for solutions. Think about you, right? Why would you look at a club or a program or a training program or anything you go for, right? You go there because you have to have a benefit out of it, right? So focus on the benefits people can get from being a member. At the start, for beginners, the benefits would be things like self-paced learning, confidence building, public speaking skills. So focus on these things. If you're focusing on like rudimentary things, focus on these things. You can then go a step further and you can create posts showing how Toastmasters can improve leadership development, how it can help um, people make communication plans, how people can uh, master presentations, right? And then focus on how Toastmasters can change people's lives through things like handling difficult situations, negotiation skills, networking abilities, right? You know how you all do those level completion charts, and you all say, hey, this member completed level 1 of this pathway. This is a good opportunity for you to highlight the benefits people can get, right? Make sure when you're congratulating your member for completing that path, that level of the pathway, highlight what those members learn in that level. Small change, big impact there, right? And this is so very important. One ad, one message. One post, one message. Don't go writing absolute essays on your post, right? For every post, you should have only one headlining message, and that should be able to capture the audience enough. And they can, if you want to write an essay, write it in the caption, right? But make sure the most impactful message statement is on the front and center of your post. Of course, TMI says choose 3 channels maximum. I would say choose how many ever channels you want, but make sure you know why you're choosing those channels, right? Just don't waste your time and effort on things that doesn't yield benefits. You also have like event promotion channels. If you're promoting your installation, create a Facebook event, right? For the different events you have in your club, you can create events pages. Okay. That also gives you a bit of leeway in your PR guidelines. And then we have the external audience media channels. Of course, you have Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, all of this. But one important thing I would tell you is, especially when you are using things like TikTok, one thing I've been noticing is most of the Toastmasters Club on TikTok are just doing viral challenges and videos, right? I want you all to try taking snippets of the training programs you all offer at your club meetings, right? With consent of your members, try taking small snippets of the evaluations they give, the speeches they give, right? And sometimes get members to do member testimonials for TikTok. And sometimes those are way more valuable for your TikTok audience than a viral TikTok challenge, right? So be mindful about these things. Usage of hashtags. Use hashtags with purpose. Don't just add however many hashtags whatever the platform offers you, right? And try to include these hashtags in your caption itself. Rather than put in the caption and going hashtag this, hashtag that, hashtag the other thing, try to include that hashtag in your write-up itself, right? If you haven't done yet, create a Google business profile for your club. It is free of charge. Um, it can also help with search engine optimization for y'all, making your club a little more discoverable, especially if it's a community club. This is an example of how I think this was in District 91, where they took PR out of the social media landscape and they just put it on uh, a public physical location. And this is uh, like a train station in a way. And this is just an advertisement so that people, professionals who are waiting to commute to their work can see this, right? And there's no caption, but see how it's like one line, but it's good enough to capture people's attention. That brings us to more offline channels, right? You can do things like um, uh, going to job fairs or putting out leaflets or going and pinning leaflets on if there's like a community board, especially in corporate clubs, if you have oils, universities, if you have a communications board um, at your premises, you all can pin it up, right? Newspapers. I think this is something most of us don't do, but try to go beyond your social media. Try to approach newspapers, try to approach news media, and you don't know the amount of reach you can get out of it, right? You'll be surprised by the amount of reach you can get out of it if you take a bit of a unconventional and in a way might feel like a dying uh, method of doing it. Again, testimonials is, I can't emphasize how important testimonials are. The biggest advertisements you have are the people in your club who are succeeding, right? So take testimonials from your members from time to time. If your members say, if your member completed their degree, if they're graduating, take a testimonial from that person. And they'll tell you how easy it was to do their presentations because of Toastmasters, right? And members going out and saying, this is something I learned from Toastmasters is your biggest weapon you have as a VPPR. Use it. Again, word of mouth. Your club doesn't have to post a single post if your members are posting every single day. Think about it, right? And your members, remember, your members don't have to stick to that strict brand guidelines, right? That is one loophole, God-given loophole you all have as VPPRs in Toastmasters. Get your members to post things, repost it, right? Again, local radio and TV channels, as I mentioned earlier. Maintain a website. I know most people are like, why would we maintain a website? Because this speaks to your legacy, right? Um, look at what you want to post on your website, put your main information on the website, and just maintain it. Sometimes you might not have a lot of traffic to it, but just having it out there with your information can be very useful, right? And as I mentioned earlier, your first and foremost duty is to create a communications plan, a PR plan, because that will help you create everything for the year. And to do that, you have the brand manual I can't emphasize how important it is that you go through your brand manual. Maybe take like a couple of hours, go through the brand manual and write down the most important things, right? And if you want, an interesting thing we used to do was we create this kind of a space on ChatGPT or Perplexity, and we give the main brand guidelines to it, right? So when you create the post, just add that image and get the AI to assess whether you are sticking with the brand guidelines, right? Uh, but you go through the brand guidelines, the brand manual to know these things. And when you go through it, you'll learn how to use the Toastmasters logo and not to just take a screenshot and paste it on your post, but to get the actual logos from TMI itself. There's different typefaces you can use. Uh, some you always have two options. You have the paid option and the free of charge option. You can go with the free of charge option, and there's ways to really use those texts to add a bit of flair to your post. And then you have the Toastmasters color palette. This is one of the most restricting things I've ever seen in my life, right? Because you have 4 colors essentially, right? You have the dark maroon, I think it's called true maroon, the blue, and these two are like the accent colors, the happy yellow and the gray accent colors to this, right? But learn how to combine those with black and white and do your posts. And then you'll have guidelines on how to phrase different things, right? Again, I'm not going into nitty-gritty details on this. If you go through the brand manual, you'll see this. And again, don't reinvent the wheel. There is a club marketing guide given on TMI. Stop reinventing the wheel, use those templates and make changes to those templates, right? It also helps with you sticking into the brand guidelines as well. Photos and images. This is a very tricky thing because I know most of the people in Sri Lankan clubs, we use our own photos, which is great. But if you're using any other photos, make sure you don't just download from a Google search because there might be copyright issues, especially if you're using it along with the Toastmasters logo. But you can always go to free websites like Unsplash and download copyright-free images from those, right? I think TMI also has like a repository of images you can download and use. You can also use the Toastmasters magazine. This is not your newsletter. There's a monthly Toastmasters magazine that comes out. You can use it in 2 ways. One, you can obviously send your own club achievements and club articles to this magazine, right? Try to get featured on this magazine. It's a very nice thing for your club. Also, you can use the articles that are published in these magazines and share those with your club on your social media, right? Of course, you all will learn how to use a lot of free software to do this, and of course, AI. I think one of the strongest softwares we use right now or applications we use right now is Canva, because you can do a lot out of it, right? So in general, I would say, or I want you to remember that there's 2 audiences always. There's the internal audience and the external audience. Create your brand stories accordingly, right? If anything you all take out of this, at least change the caption from your WhatsApp message to your Instagram post, right? Make sure your channels are always kept updated, and post regularly on social media. At least twice a week is what they say. right? So that there is some type of engagement. If you all don't have meetings or anything, just keep backup content to be published, like member testimonials or maybe word of the day. And your next steps would be first audit your existing PR channels, know what works for your club, what doesn't work for your club. Maintain your channels. Make sure, I'm pretty sure you all have done this, but acquire all of the passwords from the outgoing VPPR. There's a thing on TMI called Find a Club, where you have information of your club. Make sure that information is up to date. uh, and make sure your content or your websites are compliant with privacy laws and the brand manual. If it is not, speak to the people who have published it, so your past VPPRs, and see if there's a way you all can take things like that off of the channels, right? And again, today, plan your PR campaign, right? And that is how you will be able to succeed as a VP PR. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions? I know this was a lot of information. You have a lot of information. This is a lot of information, but does anyone have any questions?
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Pramodya.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for conducting such an insightful and practical session. I'm sure that our club leaders, the VPPRs, have gained valuable ideas and tips that they can take back to their clubs and implement. We will now open the floor for questions. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask, or you may type your questions in the chat. We'll have 10 minutes to address your questions. Let's proceed. Now is the time to clear all your questions and doubts.
Hi, Toastmaster Pramodia. Thank you for the insightful session. So I'm at Paradhan from Jaffna Toastmasters Club. So I have a small question. Like when we are posting something, can we post a bilingual content? Because our targeted audience may be uh, not aware about Toastmasters. So if I could post in maybe in Tamil, Jaffna region language, so would that be okay with the branding, or what would be your suggestion?
So I'm not sure, 100% sure about what the brand manual says about this. What I can tell you is I have seen some of the clubs, especially abroad, doing that, right? Um, so you can go through the brand manual and just check if you can do that, or if you want, I will quickly check it and get back to you within the day. But I have seen uh, members or else other clubs, especially abroad, doing that to approach different members.
Okay, thank you. So I have also gone through like a cloud chat. It said like the Malayalam and few languages are doing Toastmasters in their own language. So just wanted to
Yeah.
get clarification. Yeah, thank you so much.
Any other questions?
They have asked Toastmaster Pramodya that if it is possible for us to share the brand manual or the link for it.
Yeah, I think we can ask the organizer, the TLI, to
Yes,
share it with you
yes,
all.
yeah, we can do it after the session. And also, another member has asked Toastmaster Samira, who would welcome new members, guests who attend meetings. Is it the whole exco, but is it the responsibility of VPPR? I guess that's the main responsibility lies with the VP membership. But again, the whole exco and even the existing members can help with that, right? Toastmaster
It is,
Pramodya.
yes, it is the whole exco's duty, right? From the president to sergeant at arms. I want you all to take this message to your club. At least 7 members of your club will greet your new members or guests, right? And why do I say at least 7 members? That is your exco, right? Go talk to them, say, hi, I'm this and this person, right? Explain how they can use you to keep or else get things done from the club, right? So if you are the VPPR, say, hey, I'm so and so, I'm the VPPR of the club, and I will be sharing different communications with you throughout the year, right? So it is the duty of the whole exco, but even if the other members of the exco doesn't do it, go do it yourself, because again, you're the face of your club.
Thank you. Any more questions? I would like to raise a question on behalf of the VPPRs. That is, you said, you talked about in general how we can make ourselves appealing to the potential members. So I have seen some clubs doing this, that they share some educational content also, how to conduct a proper speech, or like content from Toastmasters magazine, or any education content as posts through their social media to educate their club members as well as any potential members. Uh, any advice on that, Toastmaster Pramodya? How important it is?
It is, I think, the most important thing, right? Because of course you need to tell people, hey, we are having this meeting today. Or tell people, hey, look, we had this meeting, look how fun it was, right? But your duty is not to talk about the features of your product, which is Toastmasters, but your duty is to talk about what people can get or the use of your product, right? So when you're creating posts, think of it as not saying, hey, look how fun our club is, might as well join it. But go and say, hey, here's what you can learn while having fun, right? That is why I told y'all, if possible, talk to your members and share like snippets of speeches and evaluations. And if you all really want to go out, one idea I have, and I've communicated this to my club as well, and I don't care if everyone goes and does it, but talk to your speakers and see if you all can get snippets of their speeches and add like content on the video showing what they did well, right? It's like a small window to the world, telling them, hey, this is what you're going to get if you join Toastmasters. This is what you're going to learn when you join Toastmasters. So it's absolutely important that you tell them what they're going to get through things like educational content, as well as whatever is posted by Toastmasters International.
Thank you. Thank you. So are there any questions? Sorry.
Pramodya, I don't have any particular questions, but I want to give you a compliment on the session was very crystal clear. Thank you so much for the session. Learned a lot, and I believe everyone would agree to the fact that yes, it's literally being the VPPR is you are like the face of the club, and you are getting the responsibility of portray the club to the outer and the inside audience. And the session was really good, Toastmaster Pramodya. Thank you so much for the session.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashane. Uh, Toastmaster Minduli has asked a question, but I'm not very clear on it. Toastmaster Pramodya, are you clear on the question
This
asked?
is the use of AI generated content Yes?
Yes. Sorry, I
Oh,
didn't see.
yeah. Um, I'm sure you can use AI generated content for your posts. I mean, there's a lot of clubs who does that, but make sure your content is original. So it's not like you create uh, something fully AI and just put it out. I'm sure that will be a problem for your bots, but uh, AI assistance is still usable. Yeah. Is it Ghana who is raising the
Yes,
hand?
Pramodya. Unfortunately, we are running a little bit out of
Yes,
time.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Let's
Possible,
wind up
let's
now.
wrap it up.
Yeah, we can
Thank you
wrap it.
so much.
No worries.
Thank you. Let's wind up the Q&A session. Thank you everyone for your questions and participation. Once again, thank you Toastmaster Pramodya Abesekara for sharing your time, knowledge and experience with us today. We truly appreciate your contribution. With that, we would like to conclude the VPPR training session, and I kindly request everyone to leave the breakout room and return to the main Zoom session. We'll see you there shortly. Thank you.
I'm sorry, before we leave, I think we need to take a picture.
Okay. Toastmaster Gahana,
Let's take like 1 second and quickly take a
please turn
picture.
on your videos if possible. Toastmaster Gahana, are you taking the picture?
I think Toastmaster Janidu is taking the pictures as
Okay.
so yeah.
We all good. We can. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Thank you
Done,
all for
right? Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone.